Today I have Larry Dorion with me, and we're going to talk about his role, a little bit about how he uses videos and how he uses Pictory, and then see what benefits he's found from using Pictory. And so, Larry, welcome. And
Thank you.
I'd love to hear a little bit more about your background, what you do, and what your role is right now.
All right. Well, I just finished a 5-month project in sales enablement where I needed to create a playbook and map the sales process. And with each of the modules, I wanted a 3 to 5 minute video clip that would be a good trailer and also incorporate the kinesthetic type learners that needed more visual than just documentation. And when I found Pictory, it gave me the ability to create some world-class videos in a fraction of the time that it was taking me in Camtasia and Pinnacle. And the fact that the AI engine would go out and pull video blocks that mirrored the narration scripts that I dropped in made it so easy. And then I could replace some of them, drop in, drop out as I went back and reviewed it. But literally, the colleagues that I've sent these to have come back and said, this is killer work. And I said, well, I got to give Pictory the credit for it.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you. So for sales enablement, you've created these intros to units, individual sales enablement units. Now, tell me a little bit about how you'd have done it in the past before Pictory.
I would have used Camtasia and I would do the voiceovers. So I have my voiceover microphone that I use. I would go in and I would create a PowerPoint, or if it was a systems training, I would go into the system and do screenshots. And then I would drop in my animations. And then I would create JPEGs and drop those into Camtasia. I would adjust that, and then I would do the voiceover and adjust the length of each one to fit with the timing that I needed. And then I would publish it as an MP4.
Okay. So how long would that process generally take you to create, say, a 5-minute video?
Oh, usually the standard is 3 times what the video length is, but I would usually take an hour, if not more, because I like to really make sure that it just pops. So, and with Pictory, you literally can have a video inside of 30 seconds, a minute maybe, but then you have to proof it, and that's where you might get an extra maybe 20 minutes, half hour, but the end result is phenomenal.
Awesome. So you save quite a bit of time compared to the tools that you've used in the past when you use Pictory.
Absolutely.
And have you seen, you were talking about some kind of special kind of learners who like the visual aspect rather than just watching a person. What benefits have you seen with the videos that you've published with Pictory?
Well, one, you've got your 3 learners. You've got your kinesthetic, your visual, and your auditory. And I like addressing the visual because most salespeople, not visual, kinesthetic, most salespeople fall in that realm on their learning styles. And so if you incorporate video, 2 to 3 minutes, have them go in, do an activity, read something, do peer-to-peer, where you mix it up and it's engaging, and you continue to drop video in and out of their learning experience, the consumption and the ability, I call it edutainment, where you educate and entertain at the same time. And it's not a talking head standing in front of a camera, ladies and gentlemen, in this module. It has to be entertaining, and the person talking has to be engaging and entertaining, and really providing a message that resonates with the why versus the what. Because salespeople typically sell the what, and that's not where people buy. They buy on the why. So helping people understand, so some hypothetical questions that you drop into the videos. What's your why? Take a couple minutes after this and just, work with your peers and come back and present your why. So it's a really fun way, instead of doing everything live in a virtual, you could actually have these on demand. And that's the part I love about it.
All right. So it's basically helped you create this asynchronous learning material for salespeople that can still be engaging, And with short clips, you can still ask the why questions. You can still engage with them in a variety of ways, and you don't have to. It doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg to produce these videos. It's quick and it's easy for you to create.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. One other question: if you run across other people, say, who are in sales enablement, what would you tell them about Pictory?
Well, great question. And the value that Pictory brings to me as a video producer is that the AI component reads my script and drops in the appropriate video blocks that, and if you think of how people learn, facial expressions, tone, and just the impact that that little video clip has on the person watching it. If you want somebody, like for example, I want a frustrated manager, and here comes an image from Pictory with a that says 1,000 words. And so having that read the emotions that I drop into the narration is absolutely critical, because that if you're looking at somebody that's bored, or just, you can't put that in words as you can in a picture. And so that's one of the things I would tell anybody looking at this platform is, if you want to really get across to your audience, put in the emotions with the messaging, so that not only do you reinforce it, but it sticks. And that's the part you want.
And then you also use the AI voices, so you don't always have to narrate it yourself, right?
Correct. I had thought about doing my own voiceover, because I've been doing corporate voiceover for over 20 years. And I thought, no, let's go ahead and pull some of the ones, and it gives you the ability to sample each one. And I find the right tone, the right energy. And it's like, all right, let's drop that in, and it renders it. And then you can preview the video. You look at your time stamps, and it's like, all right, we'll modify these just a bit, but so easy to manipulate that platform.
That's awesome. And even though you have an amazing radio voice, you still like sometimes using the AI voices. That's really good to hear. It's just easy because you don't have to do it, retakes and takes and all that good stuff.
Well, since I do all the editing and I've done so many voiceovers, I make sure when I do a voiceover that it's one take.
Right.
And if you do ums or uhs or snickers or Tourette syndrome, you just cut that out in the editing. But with your platform and the AI, the way it reads it, you don't have any of that. It's just a very nice professional reading.
Awesome. You were telling me a story before we joined about you're trying to find your next job, and tell us about how you use Pictory in that.
Well, the recruiter I was talking to wanted my resume and my cover letter, and I said, I have a couple samples of work that would you be interested in seeing? You never present until you ask. That's how you keep receptivity high. So instead of saying, hey, I've got some samples of work I'd like to send you, which generates a big so what, I asked a question. Would you be interested? And it was like, absolutely, send them over. And so I did. I sent him one of my training modules. I sent him my narration script, which had the narration, the visuals, and the timestamps for each of the sentences. And then I sent him an 18 meg video using Pictory, replicating that narration script. He came back literally a day later and said, I want to move you forward to an hour-long interview with the hiring manager. And it's all because of giving him a sample of work with Pictory, showcasing their company, because it's a sales enablement position, which I wrote for them. And it hit home.
Amazing. Amazing. Great. Thank you so much, Larry.